All right, we are live. Welcome back, everybody. Another beautiful Wednesday, another fun and exciting webinar. My name is Angel. I am joined by our fearless leader, Pavan Agarwal, and our special guest today, Rob Stein, has a ton of amazing insight for within our industry and mindset coaching in general. So I'm really excited to hear this conversation today.
Right on. Thanks so much for having me.
And I'm only fearless because I have AngelAi by my side. So Rob is amazing. I met him for the first time 2 weeks ago in Austin at the LPT Expo. I think there was about 150 agents there.
Yeah.
And I watched your presentation and your coaching. The room was like completely focused. I mean, you had their attention and you were connecting, and I watched the whole thing, and the information was very good. I felt like getting my real estate license and holding open houses after watching that.
Thank you.
So I'm so privileged that you have volunteered to be a guest on our little webcast. So the great Rob Stein, you're in Austin. You're live in Austin right now. You have your own brokerage, Rob Stein Enterprises. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I'm aligned with the LPT brokerage, but I do have a coaching company under Rob Stein Enterprises. Yeah,
that's correct. So, and I saw history in the making in Austin because Rob was invited at the event as a competing broker to LPT. So David Kurz, great guy, great friend. He was also been a past guest on this webcast. Invited Rob to speak at his event, and I guess magic just happened.
Yeah.
And here you are. You now merged with LPT Realty. And now you're here with us doing this webcast.
Yeah.
So, right. And you're also you saw my presentation, Angel's presentation on AngelAi. And the interesting thing about that whole story is that event was, Tasha, who reached out to us to attend that event. And she really wanted the event to be about AI. And she had seen what we were doing at a previous event, and she was really motivated to adopt the AI process. So she just went into AngelAi and used it for everything it's got. So AngelAi set up the website for her, set up the event website, she uploaded her database of 30,000 agents in the area. AngelAi started e-blasting the Angelista started calling those people, right? And she also asked us to send out postcards, so we sent out postcards to the list. I don't know if you got one of the postcards or not.
I got it. I got them all. I got the emails, the voicemails. I got the postcards. I got everything.
Yeah, there you go. So it worked, and so it works so well, right? And it's a free service, right? Because it's all automated, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that's not free is the postcards, because you got to pay. They cost 55 cents, whatever. No big deal. But so the whole thing just happens like clockwork, and it filled up her event with only 2 weeks to go, right? And next thing you know, Rob's now partnered with David Kurz.
Yeah.
And the last I heard was that Tosha was able to recruit a couple of agents into her team because of all this. Now, AngelAi doesn't get all the credit. Tosha did a ton of work. She organized everything and got all the speakers, and just an amazing event she had. But like I said, everything is a teamwork. It all the pieces come together. There's synergy. Everyone respects each other. Everyone helps each other, and things happen, right? And it works so well that another broker in the area who we also know got mad at AngelAi because his agents got all of the calls and the postcards and all of that, and I think he lost some agents to Tosha at the end of it all. So, and my response is, hey, use AI or lose it.
Yep.
Right. It's like use it or lose it. It's here. It works amazingly well. The other broker also knew about it, but was, for whatever reason, slow on the execution. Whereas Tosha jumped on it right away, and and here are the results.
Yeah,
it's like it does so much for you, and it's going to do so much more. There's so many more features that are coming out, and Angel will talk about that towards the end of the call. But right now, let's talk about Rob Stein. He's amazing. He is the #1 realtor broker in Texas, at least. I would say the whole universe, and maybe perhaps even the multiverse.
Thank you, brother.
So to begin with, Rob, how did you get into the real estate business? How did you become a broker? And how are you enjoying the experience, especially in this market? A lot of people are like hurting in this market.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, they are. They shouldn't be, but they are. And we'll talk about that momentarily. But first, Pavan, Angel, thank you so much for having me on your call. I was equally as enamored with your presentation at the University of Texas in the Thompson Conference Center, because I saw you do your long presentation on AngelAi, and I was just blown away at how versatile it is and how easy it is to use, which is, I think, one of the things that separates it from a lot of the other AI software that I've checked out. And some things I like, some things I don't like. AngelAi is just really easy to get plugged into. It's not overwhelming like some other things can be. It's not clunky like some other things can be. The interface is very user-friendly. So, kudos to you and Angel for developing something so incredible. But yeah, a little more about me. So I got my start in the education field. I originally have a master's in education, over 20 years of experience teaching and consulting. And I've had the privilege to speak to over 400 organizations and 20,000 individuals over the course of my career on mindset and performance. But I didn't always start that way. I used to be a middle school teacher, an overweight, underpaid middle school teacher, actually. And I believe God has blessed me with the skill and talents of teaching and speaking. And I realized, gosh, I really love teaching. I just don't love teaching public school. And I kept teaching, built my first business in music composition and publishing, was doing that full time. Eventually, decided to take control of my health and got into health and fitness. Over the course of time, became a professional natural bodybuilder, meaning strictly drug tested, polygraph tested, had to take a lie detector test, all that good stuff to make sure I was strictly natural, competing against other natural competitors. But it was about almost 6 years ago that I started getting into real estate with my father, who's been in the industry for almost 40 years. And as an agent, as a manager, and then as an investor. And it just started occurring to me, I want to diversify my income streams more. And so I started going to real estate investing conferences with my dad. And that was when I felt my entrepreneurial spirit was really able to flourish. Because as a teacher, teaching public school, a lot of teachers, which are essential jobs, just don't have an entrepreneurial spirit. They tend to have just a different mentality. And when I started going to these real estate conferences, investor conferences, and being around other entrepreneurs that were very like-minded, very supportive, very uplifting, dude, the sky's the limit. You can accomplish anything you want. That was when I was able to really kind of come into my own as an entrepreneur, so to speak. So I started out as an investor, and my wife and I, over the course of about a year, decided to just go all in on real estate. So we were born and raised in New Jersey. We moved over here to Austin, Texas, a little over 4 years ago, burned the docks and cut off the golden handcuffs because I was running my business full time, but she was still a teacher, bringing in about 65 grand a year. She had the health benefits. It was very consistent. It was very safe. And we just cut it off and moved over here to to start a real estate business and get involved in the most competitive market in the country. And, it was for sure a challenge. It was a challenge. Took 7 months to get my first commission. A lot of doubt, a lot of fear, a lot of hesitation, but part of being a successful agent, loan officer, entrepreneur is the grit. It is the grit. And I think in today's society, especially, there's like a nationwide grit shortage because social media and society makes it seem like instant gratification is all we should aim for, and that we should have no adversity. And even with incredible tools like AngelAi, which can take your lead generation and 100x it into light speed, there's still no shortcut for doing the work and getting the leads and having the grit to get to where you need to go. And it did take 7 months, but in my first week of getting paid, I closed 3 deals and made almost $50,000 in 1 week. And that was when I had the proof of concept and kind of that excitement, the taste of the results to keep pushing. So over the course of 2 years, earned my way into the top 5% of agents nationwide in terms of sales volume and income, all without paying for leads. And that's what I teach as a coach now, how agents can close deals every month without paying for leads, no matter how long they've been in the business. Became a team leader, got my team into the top 5% of teams nationwide, again, in terms of sales volume and deals closed. And then just used my educational skills to create the most incredible training course, on-demand training course for agents ever created. And now I have the privilege of, coaching agents all over the country to achieve success as a real estate agent.
Wow. So how many agents do you have underneath you now?
So in my organization, there's about 40 in terms of like team and organizational structure, but there are, hundreds of agents nationwide. Just in the past few months, I've been able to get enrolled in my online academy called Earth to Orbit, which is any agent, any brokerage. It's just the on-demand system teaching agents how to crush it in their business. And we're growing quickly. Every day we're adding more.
Okay. So, and how long have you had Earth to Orbit running?
So Earth to Orbit, it took about 2 years to develop because it is so incredibly deep and powerful and detailed. It's literally the step-by-step blueprint. So we pre-launched about a year ago, just getting people locally from my speaking events. I would talk about it. They would come in kind of as beta testers. And most recently, we fully launched in the new custom system that took so much time and resources to develop just about 4 months ago. And it's growing really fast because pretty much as soon as agents see it, very similar to AngelAi, they just know it's the answer they've been looking for.
There's something about Earth to Orbit and AngelAi, both about flight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I call it Earth to Orbit because I make the analogy that launching a real estate career is like launching a rocket into space. It's the hardest part. It takes the most amount of energy, and it also takes a significant amount of momentum, right? A rocket can't get into space at 15,000 miles an hour. It has to go 17,800 miles an hour. You're never going to meet an agent that said they've been closing 2 deals a year and then all of a sudden went to 30 deals a year. But if you can get through that launching phase with the right blueprint and the right action and the right consistency, my goal is to get agents into orbit where you've escaped the gravitational pull. You're closing transactions every single month using your referral systems, using great technology like AngelAi to nurture those leads instantly, stay on top of mind. And that's how agents can achieve the quality of life that they imagined for themselves when they became an agent. And now more than ever in today's market, agents need these tools and this information to teach them how to not be a statistical dropout.
Okay. So you get, in your brokerage, must be many new agents that are new to the industry.
Yep.
And how do you see them doing? I mean, this is one of the slowest markets I've seen in the past 15 years.
Yeah.
And the Freddie Mac or the Fannie Mae numbers confirm that. It says only $1.2 trillion this year, as opposed to a $5 trillion market 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another report that just came out that this month, given the recent rate hikes, that home prices, home sale activity has gone down 1.2%.
Yeah.
So it's like just when you thought it can't get any worse, activity gets slower,
Mhm.
right? So now a new agent or even an old agent who's seen their volumes go down, how do you change that around? How do they go from feeling beaten down to ready to go attack and start closing again?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, personally, I feel more empowered in this market to be successful than I did when the market was unsustainably a tidal wave in that seller's market that we had from like 2020 till mid 2022. And I'll tell you why. Of course, during that market, there was crazy demand and, money was practically free. But when people would be like, man, Rob, it must be a great time to be an agent. My response was, well, about half the time, it's a great time to be an agent. When I'm selling a house, it's the best time in history to be an agent, right? We market it beautifully. We have 20 offers by the end of the weekend and we're done, right? If you're a buyer agent in that market, it was historically the hardest time to be an agent because you're running around showing property. You got to see it the day it comes on the market. I would write offers for my clients for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 over asking, all the bells and whistles, beg, plead, blood sacrifice, all that kind of stuff. And they're like, oh, you weren't even in the top 5. It was crazy, right? And so now I believe it's a great market because we're able to work with everybody. I can get a buyer under contract in a week if they're pre-approved, ready to go, and motivated. You work with the seller, and as long as they're realistic about price, that house is going to sell pretty quickly. There's a couple reasons that agents are discouraged. Number one, if they got their license 2019, 2020, this is the first shift they've experienced. And it's tough. It's tough to go from, one of the most incredible markets in history and do a very quick turnaround. That can be challenging. But the reality is, number one, gang, if you're going to be an agent in the long term, which I hope you are, the market is always going to be shifting. It's always going to be shifts. Ask my dad, who's been in the industry for almost 40 years, how many times he's seen a market. I actually just put a reel up on my social media, which you can check out at Rob Stein, Impossible to Fail, on Instagram or Facebook. And we were taking a walk with my baby girl, and I was just saying, man, people are just complaining about interest rates. Dad, what was it like when you entered the industry? He said interest rates were 18%. And when they went down to 12%, there was a line around the block to get pre-qualified. So I just made a little video about it, right? So historically, the 6-7% rates we have now are not that bad. They're double what they were. So comparatively to the very short-term perspective we have, but the reality is people still need to move. People still need to buy houses. So one of the ways that agents can feel really empowered, gang, is I would recommend you try to work with buyers right now. You try to work with buyers. When we had that crazy sellers market, right? When I first moved to Austin in 2019, 90% of my deals in that first year were buyers. Then the market shifted quickly to a seller's market. So I said, okay, I better shift with it. I changed my prospecting methods. I changed my mindset, and I became predominantly a listing agent because that's what was getting me paid. Now, about a year and a half ago, when interest rates practically doubled, I was ready to go. I said to my team, we had a big team meeting, guys, it's time to work with buyers again. We're able to work with first-time home buyers again. We're going to double up on open houses. We're going to chill on the cold calling, and we're going to focus on expired and withdrawn listings, because sellers that were on Mars with their pricing and agents that didn't know how to handle that were just desperate for work, that said, yeah, we'll list your $700,000 house at $1 million. Well, that's going to expire. Now we can come in and actually show them how to price the house to sell it. And we're still extremely profitable during this time. So I would say for sure, gang, open houses are the best way to get motivated buyers. 6 to 8 open houses per month using my open house blueprint and the open house script. You're going to be closing 2 to 3 deals every single month, which in any market is going to probably be $250,000 a year in commissions.
Okay. That's pretty good. Now, a couple of things. First of all, I want to remind everyone to hit that like and subscribe button. does make me feel good, and it makes Angel feel good. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that like, subscribe button. And second is I like your point about interest rates, about, when your dad started it was 18%. And that's actually when SunWest started. It was 18%.
Wow.
And I remember those. And I remember I wrote the software to do those GPM loans. They were 18%, but you started off at 12 with a 6% negative amortization.
Mm-hmm.
And the payment went up every year.
Yep.
And so it was the only way you can get people into a house back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, today's interest rate 6-7%. Yeah, we don't know what rates are going to happen tomorrow. We don't know which way real home prices are going to go. But if you look at it in just the recent 12 months and recent 24 months, I would make the argument that actually we're sitting at a negative 10% interest rate, because home prices have gone up like 20% year over year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if interest rates are, if you buy a house and you're paying 6-7% interest rate, but your asset value is increasing by 20%, net, you're getting paid to own that asset. So net is a negative 10 to 12% interest rate.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And another thing for agents to consider is, there are a lot of homeowners that are underwater right now. Because sure, when interest rates are 2 or 3%, the problem is everyone wants to buy, and now you've got to spend $70,000 to $100,000 over asking in cash because the property will not appraise, right? So you paid $600,000 for a $500,000 house. So your mortgage is 2%, whatever, but you still spent all that money out of pocket, versus now we can negotiate for our buyers, get below asking price offer, they move in with equity, and the asset is still appreciating. So I agree with you on what you said. And that's another perspective to have when people say, just for the agents and the loan officers who are listening to this right now, when you have a client that gives you the objection of, I'm going to wait for rates to go down. Of course, as Pavan just said, we have no idea what rates are going to do. But number two, remember, when rates go down, more people are going to want to buy that house. Then you're going to have to bring the extra cash out of pocket that you can't roll into the loan just to get that property. Better to move in with equity and let that property appreciate.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this year was a big surprise to the markets, because at the beginning of the year and towards the end of last year, everyone thought, hey, with all these Fed rate hikes, home prices should see it fall.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had bet that home prices would collapse by this time, that there would be a 20% downward correction. And we've actually seen the opposite. Mm-hmm. So it's a very unpredictable market. And, anyone that tells you this is what's going to happen tomorrow, and this is what rates are going to be, this is where home prices are going to be, no such thing. No one can predict the future. Right? Yeah. It's like any fortune teller, you make 10 predictions, and if you get 3 of them right, and you just talk about the 3 predictions you get right, no one ever has to hear about the 7 you got wrong. Yeah. Right. So the best thing you can do is take the information you have today and trade on that information. Yeah. And I like the way you said it, Rob, is that if rates go down, and home prices will go up again. Yep. So if you think if you think home prices are too high now, they will definitely be too high if rates go down.
Right.
Right. So you might as well, if you can afford that payment, buy the house today.
Yep.
Right? And if you're worried about affording the payment, and the little flattening that we've had in the home market means that sellers are more likely to pay for your points. They're more likely to put in buy down. Okay. And we're seeing a lot of buy down loans being done right now, especially from builder and new construction. Yeah. So that means for the first 2 years, you can get an effectively lower interest rate, because the seller's buy down money will subsidize your mortgage payment. Right. So there are workarounds. So this kind of I would say this is almost like a Goldilocks market. Yeah. Because real estate is moving. Okay, it's not, you're not getting offers bidding up prices over ask. So you're not getting prices above appraisal. Okay, so your real estate is moving. You can buy a house at the ask price. Okay, at the appraised price. Okay, and at the same time, home prices are not collapsing. I think any fear that the market had of home prices collapsing by 10, 20%, I think that's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So I think we're looking at a market, if you buy today, most likely home prices will stay flat to rise.
Yeah.
Right? And so anyone looking at building wealth for generational wealth, you always want to buy an asset that you expect to increase in value.
That's right. 100%. And real quick, what you hit on the buy downs, that's a great tool as a listing agent right now. And what I would encourage the listing agents to do, we do this with my listings as well, is number one, if you're considering doing a price drop, I would recommend no price drop, but offer a significant concession to assist with the buyer buying down their rate, or do a small price drop and add the concession rather than just a significant price drop, because your seller is going to keep more money in their pocket. And that buy down is going to do more for the buyers than a slight change in price would. They're going to save more money over their loan, likely, by getting that rate lowered. So that's a great tool. And sometimes I would encourage you to just hit the listing with that right away. Day one, be transparent in your listing consultation with your sellers about, let's list at this price with $10,000 in concessions to help them buy down their rate. Because for sure, number one, it's going to hopefully get it. And you can stipulate, like, with an asking price offer, here's what they're willing to do. No guarantee for the offer you're going to get, but most likely your sellers are going to net more by those first offers than if you just leave it at asking price without offering concessions. Someone's going to come in below asking price, or the house isn't going to sell. So you could hit the asking price you want, 5 to 10 in concessions. In my experience in this market, your sellers are more likely to net the most amount of money with that type of structure. Don't delay to do something like that. Just do it right away.
That's smart. That's really smart. That's actually, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
Experience.
Angel alert. Hot tip.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of Angel Alert, make sure you stay till the end of this broadcast. We're about halfway through, and we're going to give you information on how to sign up for Rob's Earth to Orbit training, and more information on how to contact him, and working with Rob, and all the goodies that he has to offer to his agents. So, with that said, I know there's a lot of loan officers that are watching here today as well. What advice do you have for loan officers, because you get courted all the time?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
So for loan officers to try to establish value with agents or to get more business?
Both.
Yeah, for sure. For the loan officers, again, I would say same thing. I tell the real estate agents that I coach, it is an awesome market for buyers that are motivated right now, for buyers that are motivated. So number one is understand how you need to be pre-qualifying your buyers, not pre-qualifying in terms of putting in the application. I mean, testing their motivation, right? Number two, I would encourage loan officers to try to establish more of a relationship with their prospects. Now, I'm not a loan officer. In my experience, as I have done sales coaching for mortgage companies, number one, I feel that loan officers too frequently try to only establish relationships with agents rather than go into prospect for direct buyers. You should definitely have good relationships with agents. But when I teach agents how to build a referral-based business with my 9 proven methods of free lead generation and how to maximize previous clients, literally every single thing works for loan officers too, in terms of going to your community groups, your gym, your kids' sports teams, your church, having one-to-ones, going to networking groups and establishing relationships, like not just throwing business cards in people's faces, but really establishing relationships with people. Asking people once in a while, do you know anyone looking to buy a home or invest in real estate I can call today? Don't assume they're just going to call you, right? They don't go around thinking, how can I refer John today, right? They're just thinking about themselves. So ask them every now and then, but prospecting for direct buyers and not solely focusing on agent referrals is going to be really, really important. Number two, when it comes to establishing relationships with agents, same thing. It's about that, what I just said, it's about establishing a relationship. So for example, as Pavan said, as an agent, I get courted all the time. And here's typically how it goes. Hello. Hey, Rob, this is so-and-so from so-and-so mortgage company. How's your day going? Great. Well, listen, what I do is I'm calling agents to see how I can add value to your business. Here's what I do. Me, blah, 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 blah. Are you interested in grabbing a coffee? Right? No, I'm not. I'm busy. I don't have time to get solicited again. Right? And all you've done is talk about yourself. What I want to know is, number one, what is a unique factor about you? Well, even if someone said, I guarantee you I work harder than anyone and have higher standards of excellence than any loan officer you've ever talked to, that would be intriguing to me. That would be intriguing to me. I have high standards of excellence, right? So number two, aside from your personal character and what you bring to the table, do you have a unique tool? Do you have a great process? Like, for example, one of my loan officers that I might recommend as a potential interview, if a client wanted to go with that person, their company has like an onboarding where they have a dedicated onboarding department, right? Or AngelAi makes your life like super easy when it comes to that kind of stuff. So that's a unique factor that saves me time, makes me look like a boss, right? And helps your clients, right? So when you're looking at forming relationships with agents, try to form an actual relationship with them. Don't just word vomit, hurl a business card and ask for business, right? How can you truly add value, right? When an agent or a title rep says, Rob, how can I add value to your business? How do you think you can add value to my business, right? And that's an obvious answer, right? So tell me some really unique factors about yourself. What separates you from the other loan officers out there? And tell me how you think you can really add value to my business, and make an effort to form a relationship with me. And that is where you will always have food on the table and where your phone is always going to be ringing. In any market, when people need to buy, if you are the person they think of, you are the one they will work with. And guess what? People are buying all the time. We're still closing deals every month and being profitable because of the relationships that I've established. Right now, I have an active listing that my home inspector is the homeowner. How many agents do you think my home inspector knows? Hundreds of agents, right? But he called me and isn't interviewing anybody else because of the relationship that we have. When you have those types of relationships with agents and with your community, that is how you're always going to thrive in any market.
That's really good advice. I say that to loan officers, my loan officers all the time, and other loan officers is don't hide behind the phone. Get out there, get in front.
Yeah.
Right. You're out in the field because you're in the field. You're a field loan officer for a reason.
Yeah.
Because people want to see you and meet you. I mean, and this conversation we're having today would not have happened if I hadn't gotten a plane and flown to Austin on, a call from Tasha saying, hey, can you come over and do this? I'm like, sure. Right.
That's
Don't
right.
say, if I get a plane, if I fly 2,000 miles for one relationship, every loan officer, you get a phone call, get in the car, you can drive 20 minutes, 30 minutes and do whatever you need to do.
Yeah. I mean, statistically, most buyers and sellers, 80% of the time are going to work with the first agent they meet face-to-face.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to work with a buyer or seller, my goal is how soon can I set up a meeting with them? How soon can I set up a buyer or a seller consult face-to-face, not on Zoom unless they're an out-of-state buyer. It's rare that I meet a loan officer that is passionate about having face-to-face consults with their prospects if you are calling your leads and saying, when is the best time to meet with you to talk about your goals and buying the perfect home? Would a weekday or weekend be best? Okay, great. Morning, afternoon, or early evening. Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 4. If you make an effort to give them that A/B choice and actually schedule meetings with them, you're going to close way more deals.
That is actually a really good sales technique, what you just said, which is give them two choices.
Yeah.
And instead of keeping it open-ended, give them two choices,
Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday, 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock.
That's right. And in Earth to Orbit, with all the scripts and the scripts, we have hundreds of scripts and objection handlers, but that's the main thing we teach is when you're setting the appointment, use that ABC script, that action benefit commitment script. Tell them what you want. Let's set a time to meet to talk about buying the perfect home. How does it benefit them to meet with you? Talk about the benefits you provide as an agent or a loan officer, and then ask them this question: does a weekday or weekend work best? And then morning, afternoon, or early evening, and then propose 2 times. Don't say, would you like to meet? Or I'd love to meet with you if you're open to it, or call me when you're ready. Weekdays or weekends, morning, afternoon, early evenings, propose 2 times, and then handle the objection if you need to. But again, especially for the realtors, number 1, ask for what you want. Don't be general, be specific. For loan officers, schedule more FaceTime with your prospects. You're going to close more deals.
I just learned something. This is great.
Awesome.
I like your approach to just funneling it down to that's a great technique.
And just do it the same way every single time. You're going to get really good at it, and you're going to realize that there are only a small handful of the same objections you're going to face. And when you get really good at converting leads, which is one of the things I teach, because getting leads is great, converting leads is only way you're going to convert those leads into closings. And that simple script, right, is such a game changer to intentionally ask for what you want in a way that really adds value to the people you're talking with.
So how can someone sign up for your course?
Yeah, they would go to earth2orbittraining.com. So earth2orbittraining.com is where the website is. They can go to my social. They can check out my YouTube at robstein.tv and learn some more there. Or gang, if you want, send me an email at rob@robstein.com. That's STEIN. rob@robstein.com, and just say, hey, Rob, saw you on the SunWest live stream. I'd love to learn more about it. We'll set up a free demo, free business evaluation, see where you're at, and see if my course may be a good fit for you.
And your course works just as well for loan officers as it does for realtors.
Yeah, I mean, transparently, it is geared towards realtors. But again, when I am brought on either for individual sessions, or sometimes I'm brought on as like the in-house sales and mindset coach for mortgage companies, what we focus on is the same exact methods of lead generation and scripts. And you literally just replace, real estate with loan, and you're good to go. So I do a lot of coaching in the mortgage industry as well, because the way I teach about building your business through relationships and free methods of lead generation is very universal for real estate, mortgage, and those type of affiliated industries.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head here, which is free lead generation. How, it's like when I grew up, I saw my mom every evening call expired listings for 2 hours, 3 hours every day. Right. And that is, in essence, lead generation. And you can argue it's not free because there's a lot of effort goes into it.
Right. That's right.
Right. But there is a lot of ways to do lead generation and not have to buy, Zillow Leads. They're so expensive and the conversion rates are so low.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways to get out there, do lead generation without having to spend a lot of money.
That's right.
And just pure, blood and sweat, and you can get leads in and get borrowers. And I think when you do it the old fashioned way, you get borrowers that are committed to you, and
Yes.
you actually get borrowers and buyers that value the relationship.
That's right.
As opposed to if you buy their lead off, Zillow or something, they know you bought their lead and they don't have that. They get it as a trade.
That's right.
And the second thing I like what you said, which is great advice for loan officers, is is enough with the phone calls. Take every opportunity to meet your client,
Yes.
meet your home buyer or meet your realtor every chance you get. And I'll tell you, in speaking to loan officers that are watching this, and I might get some of them upset, but the reason you were seeing that a lot these days, back in the 80s and 90s, I didn't see much of that. The reason we're seeing that a lot these days, my theory is that last several years, the mortgage industry got so spoiled with refinances that everything was done on the phone.
Yeah.
And deals were closed in 10-minute conversation on the phone. You convinced the borrower to refinance, and you made a few $1,000s and you went to the next one.
Yep.
And now it's like, no, that doesn't work anymore. You're not going to convince someone to buy a $500,000 house with the phone call. Don't work that way.
Nope.
Right. So this is kind of like, hey, for loan officers, wake up. You need to go out there. You need to take every opportunity to meet with your clients. It's the only way you're gonna be able to separate yourself, differentiate yourself from everyone else that's calling Rob for his business.
That's right. And the same thing with agents. Make an effort to set up a meeting with them, call them, ask them about themselves. Don't tell them about you. Ask them about themselves. Ask them about where their business is at, and schedule some FaceTime with them. They will appreciate it.
Yeah, and nowadays, now that we have AngelAi and Angel Elliott Lynn is going to show how the whole phone process, the process of calling and following up and telemarketing and e-blasting and all of that routine work, AI has automated today, and Angel's going to show us how to use AngelAi to do that for you so that you could spend more time face-to-face with your client and building relationships. So I'm going to hand it over to Angel. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So just like Rob was talking about, you want to actually spend the time talking to your prospects. But if you have files of hundreds or thousands of leads, as much as we all love to cold call, you still only have the same amount of time in the day. So by using the tools that are available to you for free, by the way, you can really maximize the time that you get to spend actually reaching out to leads that are interested in buying or selling or talking to you for one reason or another. So it takes just a few minutes of your time when you're using AngelAi to drop in your leads. You can choose to do email campaigns, phone campaigns, or both. You even have the opportunity to provide your own email templates, your own phone scripts. That way, the folks that are calling on your leads the message can be as personalized as you want. And the goal is always to get folks that are interested on the phone with you directly. So while it's the AI behind the scenes running the show, it is not the AI actually making the phone calls. So there are AngelAi has her human assistants that are bilingual, English and Spanish. They're the ones making the phone calls. And then when they do get someone on the line who is ready to talk to you, they're going to attempt to live transfer that call to you. So you can talk to them right then and there. If you don't pick up, if you're unavailable, they're going to shoot you over an email with all the information so you can get right back to that person when you are available. And then you'll also get an email report regularly of everything that was done with your leads, how many contacts were made, were people interested, not interested, want you to call back in January when they're going to look at selling their home. So you'll get all of that in an email report. And setting this up, again, it takes minutes of your time. So I'll show you real quick how you would do this. So AngelAi, as Rob was saying, is super easy to use. It looks just like a chat. There's nothing more to it than just talking to it like you were typing an instant message or a text message to a person. So to get started with the lead generation, I would recommend starting by creating an account, and I will show you why here as we get this process going. So all I said is I have a file of leads for you to follow up on. You don't have to use a specific prompt with AngelAi, but we like to give you some ideas. But you just tell her something along the lines of, I have leads for you to follow up on. Now, she's asking me some questions about myself. What is your role? What company are you working with? And this is why I do recommend creating an account, because all of these questions she's asking about me in order to get this process going, she's going to remember once I have an account. So that'll just save me time moving forward as I make requests to AngelAi. So she's gotten information about me. And now she's going to ask me for my file of leads. So you can do 1 lead, you can do 1,000 leads. There's actually no limit, and you can attach the file right there within the chat. So I just click on that little paperclip icon.
And I want to point something out here is a lot of times you'll get somebody's business card, or you'll meet them at a bar, you write down their name and number on a napkin. You can literally take a picture of anything and drop it in here and say, here's a lead. And AngelAi will do the OCR, it'll figure it out, and it'll do the rest. So it is like, there is absolutely no reason for you to not save every contact. And once you've set this up once and you've established your script and what you want AngelAi to do for you, all you gotta do from that point forward is here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. And it'll just happen automatically. And
yeah, in fact, so what I'm showing you is the desktop view. So when I hit this little paperclip icon, you may have noticed I have the option to upload a photo or a document file. If you're on your cell phone, you actually have a third option. It's a little camera icon. So if, like in Pavan's example, you're out at happy hour, you jot down their information on a napkin, you can actually just take a picture of it right there within the AngelAi application and send it to her and say, you know what to do. So here I have attached my file, and now she's asking me, are they buyer or seller leads? Because I did indicate I was a realtor. And then she asked me what I want her to do, email campaign, phone campaign, or both. I say both. And lastly here, she's going to ask if I have my own email templates and phone scripts that I want her to use. So I'm going to do the same thing and attach my file for my email template and the phone script that I want used. And then she just sends me a confirmation. So I will, again, if they get someone on the line live ready to talk to me, they're going to attempt to live transfer over, and then I will receive those regular email reports as well with all the information of the work that was done.
yeah, I think those reports come out daily now, right?
They may come out daily. I know they were coming out weekly on Friday mornings, but they are, if they're not already coming out daily.
Yeah, I believe that was a major upgrade, and they are coming out daily with a lot more granular information about it. So it's just like you literally have CRM on demand, but it's better than CRM. You just kind of fire and forget, and you don't have to worry about stuff. And one of the features that is coming out soon, which will be generally available, is a feature that Tosha used for that LPT event, which is you'll be able to go on to AngelAi and say, I'm having an event, I'm having a happy hour, I'm inviting 20 realtors, or if you're a realtor, I'm inviting 20 of my buyers or whatever, and can you promote that event for me? And AngelAi will do all of it. You give it information about the event, you give it pictures of whatever you want to say. It'll create a web page, a beautiful web page to take registrations. It will send out e-blasts to your lists. It will the Angelistas will start calling and registering people, driving people to your event site. So it's like a full in a box solution for helping you build business. And so the question I get all the time is why is it all for free? How can you do it all for free? Well, first of all, it's all tech. Right. So once it's developed, right? So the incremental, the marginal cost for every new website we set up or something is almost negligible. Second is this is run and managed by my tech company that owns AngelAi, and the tech company's goal is to get the maximum number of users onto the platform. And it's really that simple. And we are expanding AngelAi very rapidly. It's not just for mortgage and real estate industry anymore. It's being expanded to all kinds of industries. And you can imagine, just if you're just looking at your personal life and think about all the times that you needed a site, or you needed to just reach out to your friends and invite them to a birthday party, right? Or something like that, right? All the times where you could have used a personal assistant to do all of these things for you that you had to do it by yourself, for a personal event, for a business event, right? AngelAi can do all of those things for you. So these are all generalized capabilities. We're taking what we developed for the mortgage and real estate industry, and we're generalizing it so that it could work for anybody in any industry. And our goal is to get tens of millions of users onto AngelAi this year. So the pressure's on our development team to get this all ready and done. But we do test things very thoroughly, and we do roll it out in increments. And the success that we've had with the early adopters, and we started today's presentation off about the huge success that Tasha had and Rob has had with just the first attempt to use AngelAi, where it's so successful that the competitors are getting upset. So that's music to my ears, right? So if you're worried about just being outrun by your competition because they can now do all of these things, it's time for you to hop on AngelAi and learn how to use it. And we make it easy for you to learn how to use it. There was a question in the live chat, is where can we find out more information? And there's another question here from Jen Lott. Is there an option to import a contact list? And the answer is yes, there is an option. When you hit the paperclip icon, you can import one contact. It could be Excel spreadsheet. It could be whatever file format the AI reads it, interprets it, normalizes it, and loads it into his database and gets to work. And you literally, if you have pictures, if you have scans, if you put a bunch of business cards on a Xerox machine and made a hit copy, and then you could scan that in, it'll take whatever format and it'll figure it out. It's really amazing. And the process just starts mechanically on its own. So it really does work. Right now, you can go to AngelAi and create a listing site. If you're a realtor, you get your own listing site. For mortgage brokers, any mortgage brokers that are listening, you'll get an AngelAi. You can get an AngelAi branded site for yourself. So if you're a loan officer working for a brokerage, you can get a very robust loan officer page with all the information about your products and everything. Basically, it's by spending 2 minutes on AngelAi saying, I want this page, and it'll create it for you. So, Angel, can you tell the group how to attend a workshop? So
every single day, they're live interactive workshops. We keep the attendee list very small on purpose so that you can interact with the trainer. So they'll have you walking through hands-on, following along various exercises to give you some ideas how you can incorporate it into your business. Also, just help you get comfortable using the system. As easy as it is, any new system can be a little intimidating. So that way you can walk along with a certified trainer. So if you go to angelai.com, there's a ton of informational content out there, along with the link to or a button to chat with AngelAi. And all you have to do to register for one of those workshops is tell AngelAi workshop, and she will help you get registered for the next session. So we do offer them every day at 11 o'clock Pacific. We also have a session that is done completely in Spanish. So you would just let AngelAi know what you're looking for. She'll help you get registered for the next available session.
Hey, Pavan, may I give just a quick tip for some agents out there on using this?
Absolutely.
For sure, one of the things I'm most excited about when I learned about AngelAi was importing my list of like old kind of stale leads that have pretty much gone unresponsive, because any agent or probably loan officer that's been in the business long enough has a large list of what we call cold or stale leads that have just been unresponsive. This is a really easy way to engage those prospects again on a large, frequent scale for free, right? As agents, I mean, for sure, we pay a lot of money for CRMs that it is so complicated to design all of these different ways to touch base with our clients or prospects, I should say. But in this way, you can go into your CRM, select any lead stage you want, export that file, upload that bad boy to AngelAi, and all these people are going to be engaged so quickly, and it's not going to take any of your time, and it's not going to cost you anything. So that was for me personally, that was one of the things I was most excited about, because I've got like thousands of those that have accumulated over the years, over the many years. So this is a really easy way, and I bet there's going to be some contracts coming through as a result of it.
Yeah. We had a broker, a real estate broker in Colorado. He uploaded a few weeks ago, he uploaded 5,000 stale contacts, as you call them.
Mm-hmm.
And that resulted in some 20 plus appointments.
Let's go. Yeah.
And then he was so excited. Now this week he uploaded 40,000.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. It's just, you could do that and it doesn't even blink. It goes on, so the whole idea behind AngelAi is very much like the iPhone. It's, when the iPhone first came out, every other, like the BlackBerry and other phones, had all these buttons on it, and they all sold on, we can do these gazillion features, right? And the iPhone just made it so simple with a single button, right? Because you don't need all those gazillion features, right? And all that does is get in the way and makes it so hard. And CRMs today are the same way. They have a gazillion features, right? And that's cool if you want to become a CRM nerd and spend your whole life learning that CRM and doing it really, really well. And guess what? You'll be a CRM pro and your real estate business will collapse or your loan business will collapse, right? And so what we figured out is that most customers just want it simple. They just want to have the database, they have their contacts, and they just want to convert their contacts to appointments, right? It's not so hard, right?
Now we have AI.
Exactly, right? So they don't want to deal with these big fancy CRMs and this option, that option, and all this. They just said, here's some contacts, I want appointments. And that's how we design AngelAi. And that's why it's so simple.
And this is a tool that can be used by loan officers, by realtors alike. So when Rob was mentioning earlier, loan officers, if you're looking to build relationships with realtors, offer them something of value. This is a tool that can offer immense value for them that's absolutely free. And how big of a hero are you going to be when you're the one that walked in and introduced them to the possibilities that are free in AngelAi?
Yeah. Incredible stuff. So we're almost at the hour. Rob, one more time, how does someone take advantage of your amazing service? And for realtors that are in the Austin area, if you're not working with Rob, you are missing out.
Rob, you're on mute.
Thank you. My baby's making some noise in the background. Didn't want everyone to hear it. So again, I did post in the chat, that website is earth2orbittraining.com. earth2orbittraining.com will take you there. You can learn all about it. If you want to set up a free demo for the course, or you happen to be in the greater Austin area, you want to learn what it's like to work with me and my real estate team here, either as an independent agent or on my actual team, just shoot me an email right there. I put it in the chat. It's rob@robstein.com. And we can schedule a meeting, learn about your goals, and see what makes sense.
Yeah. And all the loan officers that are listening, and they're in the Austin area, and you want Rob's business, he told you the magic formula.
That's right.
and now you also have his email address and everything. So just be polite.
Rob, you're going to have hundreds of new best friends in your inbox.
I can't wait. Take me to Red Horn. Buy me a Ethiopian pour over, and we'll talk.
And last thing before we let everyone go, thank you all for the wonderful hour you've shared with us, and definitely thank you, Rob, for donating your time for this.
Been my pleasure. Thank you.
If you want to learn more about AngelAi workshops, just go to angelai.com/workshop, and everything is explained on that webpage. Cheers.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much, Rob. We appreciate you joining, sharing
Thank
all
you.
that